So this week we had Verzuz. Ja Rule and Fat Joe went head to head. And I really enjoyed the show. I think it was, I actually tuned in late because I was a little bit delayed on my schedule and I totally forgot that they were having a Verzuz. But when I did tune in, I actually got to watch the full 2 hours of it. I'm not sure how long it was going. Most Verzuz, I think they start around 8 p.m. Eastern time. I tuned in around 9, so I think I only missed about an hour. And I'm glad that I waited that long, I guess, because that's when they start getting into the hits and got to the point, usually when the artists, they come on the stage, they like get to the slow songs and stuff that you like, but you want to really hear the hits. So I actually tuned in when they start playing the hits, and I think it was an excellent battle. When it comes to the music catalogs that was going back and forth, I already personally had a winner, which is Ja Rule. Not trying to, diss Fat Joe, but I am not a Fat Joe fan like that. Like, I know a couple of his songs and stuff, but like when it comes to like what gravitates towards my ear is more so Murder Inc. and Ja Rule, and I grew up in that era, so it's just something for me. Of course, Fat Joe had music out at the same time as Ja Rule and everything else, but Fat Joe had a career that lasted for at least, like, I don't know how many, 7 years before Ja Rule came out. So it's a lot of music that he had in the beginning of his career that I really don't know. You know what I mean? And most of the time when I think of Fat Joe, I was thinking of Big Pun. And sometimes I'll mix like Big Pun songs up with Fat Joe. So, but anyway, let's get into the battle. So I want to talk about the controversy in the battle, first of all. We already know Ja Rule won. That's just what it is. Ja Rule, he won. He had so many top 10 singles that he played that everybody loved. I mean, even like, because now they're actually making it into a whole concert. Like, remember, we had started this show, the Verzuz, back in the pandemic where people couldn't leave their house. So people would get on IG Live and they would perform from their home. But as the pandemic is starting to subside and everything is starting to go back to normal, now they've turned it into a big concert, So it's like now they're performing everything else. I believe the show was in New York. I would assume it's in New York because both artists are from New York. And the MTV Music Awards was in New York. So I know a lot of celebrities were in New York City. So I believe it was there. And it was at some arena. I don't know what the arena is. Listen, but that's not the point. Anyway, so Ja Rule, he was dropping his hits. Of course, he played all of the classics with Vita, Little Mo, the songs that he has with Ashanti, and everything out. Then, of course, Fat Joe, he came out with the songs that he had featuring Remy Ma. I feel like it was like a battle of the features on this particular Verzuz because Ja Rule is known for having female artists feature on his songs and have Ashanti singing a hook. And, he's known for his features with Little Mo and everything else. And he's always been, I would say, one of those hip hop advocates that supported R&B. And, I just found it interesting. And Fat Joe actually made a statement saying that Ja Rule was Drake before Drake, and I partially agree because he started that more singing hip hop type of thing, and that's what Drake basically does with his music now, which is an interesting comparison. But I understand where he was trying to go with that. Now, my problem is, during the show, Fat Joe, I mean, they were in battle, they were in the heat of the moment or whatever, and Fat Joe comes out and calls Vita and Little Mo dusty bitches. And I'm like, why would he say that? Why what was the point of him saying that when they're getting off stage? And I think it was before they had came on stage actually. And he's like, oh, yeah, F you and them dusty bitches, And everyone's like, okay, but it seemed like everyone let it slide. Of course, him and Ja Rule was going back and forth, this, and this. But, Fat Joe seemed to show a lot of love towards Ashanti. Of course, he showed love to Remy Ma. He bought them purses on the stage, and he was doing the utmost. Then he explained, of course, the reason why he decided to do the verses because he wanted Ja Rule to get his flowers because he felt like, Ja Rule, he has not got his flowers yet, and he has done a lot for the hip-hop culture, which I do agree. I feel like Ja Rule's career, of course, I was there and seen it when his career was derailed due to the beef with 50 Cent. But I feel like had there not been a beef, I think Ja Rule's career still would have measured up to 50 Cent's career had it not been based off of beef and people choosing sides. Because musically, for me, even though I love 50 Cent, I love his music and his catalog, I feel like Ja Rule is that rapper that everybody can listen to, and the music makes you feel good. I don't know, it just gravitates more towards me. And also to me also Ja Rule is more likable. He seemed like a more happier person, and his personality pops through his music. 50 Cent on the other end, he's not the happiest man that I get from him in the media. I mean, he's accomplished so much in his career, and he's just still seems like a miserable old man. That's just my personal thoughts or whatever. But yeah, so people wanted originally Ja Rule and 50 Cent to go back and forth, but they didn't, and now you got Fat Joe and Ja Rule, which is cool. But anyway, he called Little Mo Dusty, called Vita Dusty bitches, and Little Mo, I guess she didn't know about it until after the verses, and then she went on social media and called out Fat Joe for calling her out her name. And then Little Mo's managers came in, and under the comments it was like, oh, I wish he was there, I would have straightened him out. That's basically, I'm just ad-libbing of what happened. Then Remy Ma came in saying to her, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Hashtag street code, basically saying that we don't do Instagram. So this is what Little Mo said. She tagged Fat Joe in this post and said, I need everyone to tell Fat Joe he owes a genuine apology. I don't live in a crack house. I'm not a bitch, nor am I Dusty. Hashtag street code. Women and children is off limits. Disappointed. Hashtag legend. And then Remy Ma decided to step in and basically was trying to tell Little Mo that it wasn't a big deal. She said, stop it, Mo. You know dang well Joe ain't on it like that. First off, you, V, Shanti, or nobody had even come out yet when him and Ja Rule was going back and forth. We didn't know who was in the back. Second, I was in the car when you walked through the parking lot and he hugged you and showed you mad love as usual. No need for your followers to tell him anything. As someone that personally knows you, I'm sorry you were offended. You can call my phone. Matter of fact, I'm going to DM my number in case you don't have it anymore. But also, as someone that personally knows Joe, he was not intentionally trying to hurt anyone. It was a battle between friends that are like family. Sidebar, hashtag street code, don't do social media. So then from there, Little Mo basically, from what I was seeing, somebody put up another post saying that Little Mo was basically telling Remy Ma to mind her business, and things was just slowly starting to escalate. And then that's when Fat Joe came in and he put up a post basically saying if he offended anyone with what he said, he do apologize. But it's kind of like, I don't like that if I did something wrong, I'm sorry. You should know that you did something wrong, Fat Joe. Like, why couldn't you just say, I apologize for what I said. I apologize for offending you. Just straight like that the first time around. Of course, people seen that tweet and they felt like it was disingenuous. So they were still going back and forth. And this led to, of course, Fat Joe eventually, doing a thorough apology on his Instagram page, saying he's sorry to Vita and that he's sorry to Little Mo for calling them out their names and things of that nature. And he also stated in the video that he loves black women. He's sorry for what he said. And eventually as well, he sent flowers with an apology note to Little Mo. And then Little Mo decided to let the situation go. And they decided to move forward. Okay. Now, for me, I don't know. I kind of understand that you could be in the heat of the moment of a battle and say certain things. But if it really was targeted at Little Mo and Vita, then that really wasn't a mistake. Like, who you were talking about when you said it, Fat Joe. That was the alleged case, But like I said, once again, allegedly, copyright disclaimer, maybe he did not know that they were in the bag. Maybe he was just in the heat of the moment because they were talking a lot of crap about each other before they came out. So maybe Little Mo just assumed that Fat Joe knew she was there, and maybe he didn't know because there was a ton of people on stage at one time. But it's never okay for me, I don't feel like it's okay for a man to push off that aggression that he has for another man and start coming after the females. Like, what did the females do to you? Your battle was against Ja Rule. I get that Ja Rule had those ladies featured on his songs, but this is Fat Joe versus Ja Rule. This isn't Fat Joe versus Vita versus Ashanti versus Little Mo. Like, I don't think it was, like, I didn't understand, like, why Fat Joe had to do that. But he did send out a sincere apology. But I just feel like, I I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not good. It's not good for the image in his work, whatever. But whatever it was, everybody made up. They all ended up going on live eventually. Ashanti, Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and I think Remy Ma, they actually went on Instagram, and everyone, they just settled it like adults. Little Mo moved on from it, and she said she accepted his apology 2 times over. So who am I to be stuck in the past, I guess? Hey, to listen to the rest of this podcast, be sure to check it out right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and much, much more, y'all. It's the DJ Jerica Podcast, where we talk about celebrity news commentary. Yo, check it out right now, okay? All of those apps are free, 99. Download it and hear the full podcast. I'm making a movement. I appreciate everybody for your support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love. Peace. Also, make sure you guys go to my website, djjericapod.com, for the latest music news and entertainment gossip, y'all. Come on and join the community, and make sure you guys subscribe. Put your email list in, subscribe, and you guys will be notified for late breaking news. I'm always moving, y'all. If you like music from the 90s and the 2000s, make sure you guys subscribe to my other channel, DJ Jerica Music Lounge, where I'm playing all of your favorite throwback jams, y'all. And I get down, baby. It's my mix show. It's you hearing what I sound like. Yeah, I sit here and gossip, but I am an actual DJ, and I do mix it up on the ones and twos. So I hope you guys join me. Make sure you guys, of course, subscribe to this channel, but also go ahead over to DJ Jerica Music Lounge and subscribe there now. I appreciate y'all. Peace.